Intuition. Today we're gonna do a reading about who wants to invest with you. I have a romantic intention behind this question, but maybe there will be like business opportunities that will come through. I'll definitely go with what's coming out in the cards. Of course, I'm not gonna force anything to be romantic if it's clearly coming up non-romantic. But yeah, let's just dive right into it. Please and thank you, Spirit. Who wants to invest with or rather, who wants to invest into or with the collective? Please and thank you, Spirit. Who wants to invest into or with the collective? Let's see, who's wanting to have an investment with the collective? Please and thank you, Spirit. Oh. That is so many cards. So many cards. I don't know why, but I love when people say like things and then they like emphasize the like afterwards, like cards. It makes me laugh. Okay. I've been watching a lot of like people, well, not a lot, like two creators on YouTube. One of them's like Case O, I want to say, doing the Dress to Impress game. And he does that a lot with the words he says. He's like, ends with like, like, I don't know. It's just really funny to me. It also makes me want to do like a game channel or something, like some sort of. There's a cute old doggy walking by. Let me stay focused for a second. Okay, who wants to invest with the collective? Please and thank you, sir. Who wants to invest with the collective? Please and thank you. Maybe like all right. Okay. So, what we have? Ooh, juicy. Okay. So what we have is we have the Page of Cups. We have the Hermit. And the Page of Wands came out like this. That's an interesting position. And then the bottom of the deck, Two of Cups. So you are manifesting some sort of relationship investment, dare I say. But yeah, to finish my first thought while I was shuffling, it makes me, whenever I see people like playing the Dress to Impress, I kind of, I'm almost tempted to make like a third channel where I do like games and stuff, but I also like don't have like a great setup, so I don't know how realistic that is. Because I feel like it's probably harder to stream and do games like that than I'm probably imagining. And also, as somebody who has, I went in to get diagnosed with ADHD. Well, not like with the purpose of, hey, you better diagnose me with ADHD. But I went in for testing, and the results came back that I just have a multitude of different mental conditions that mimic the mimic ADHD symptoms. And it's like, isn't that kind of the same thing? If I'm experiencing all the symptoms of ADHD, but yet, like, who is, whatever. But anyways, I think I have ADHD is what I'm trying to say. So like with somebody like me that has a lot of ideas and a lot of motivations and a lot of like things constantly going through their brain, I have to be careful and sometimes limit myself. Because yeah, I may have all these ideas and want to do them all, but I also could very easily exhaust myself by giving myself too many things to do. Anyways, that is not relevant to this reading, so let's just dive back into the reading. I don't know why I got off of that. Oh, I think it was because I've been watching Queso. I think that's Casio maybe? Or Queso. I think it's Queso is his account name. But he does the Dress to Impresses and they're so freaking funny. Oh my gosh. I love when people are just like not afraid to be goofy and silly and stuff. He gets so into it too. That's the best part, is he takes that game very seriously, and I respect that. Anyways, let's just dive into this. Start clarifying, starting with that Page of Cups. Please and thank you, Spirit. Can you tell us more about this Page of Cups? Who is this wanting to invest in the collective? Into the collective or with the collective? Please and thank you, Spirit. Okay. Anything else for this Page of Cups? Please and thank you, Spirit. The dog, though, might be a good omen. Loyalty. Companionship. There's an unwavering loyalty and what's it called? There's a certain stability and like consistency with dogs that I feel like they, you know, to their own detriment, unfortunately, they love so unconditionally. So I'm wondering if that's a good omen here to indicate the type of person that you're kind of attracting during this time, especially romantically, because we are clarifying the Page of Cups. This is probably somebody new, somebody that you haven't dated before. But of course, we'll see. Anything else? Okay, I think it's maybe just these two. Let me break out some paper towels, because we all know my body just be sweating all the time. Just be sweating all the time in it. Okay, so clarifying that Page of Cups, we have the Four of Pentacles and the Page of Wands. Bottom of the deck is the... Oh, I think another one flipped over inside the deck. Let me see what that one is. Ooh, okay. Knight of Wands as well. Okay. And then bottom of the deck is the Seven of Pentacles. So, interesting energy. So the Page of Wands clarifying the Page of Cups, I feel like that's double confirmation that this is somebody new. Somebody that you have not yet explored things with. White butterfly in the background. That could be significant. Purity. Pure heart. Pure intention. Also, transformation is a huge part of the butterfly, so maybe somebody just recently went through some sort of purification process in their personal life. But the Four of Pentacles being the first one to pop out for that Page of Cups. Oh, I think I see now. So this is someone who probably is a lover boy, lover girl, lover person, somebody that just loves love, loves to love. But when it comes to accessing that emotional side, they are a little bit guarded, defensive. They like to protect their heart, even if it's to their own detriment, or even to their own sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, to their own disappointment. Like, even if they want something, because they're so guarded, they may not go after those things. They may not, receive those things. And so that could lead them down a path of feeling very much disappointed. But I think that the Page of Wands and the Knight of Wands, I feel like this is them stepping up in a way. Because I dare say that the Wands and the Cups have a lot of similarities in the way that they feel feelings intensely, I would say. And I almost see the Wands in this context as maybe a baby step in the direction of being open-hearted with you. I feel like this is somebody who is actually actively trying to overcome their own limitations, their own obstacles and blockages that maybe they themselves even created. Because they have an awareness that this is an issue here. That they can't be guarded when it comes to love, because otherwise they won't experience true love, right? So I see them embodying this Page of Wands. trying very much to embody that Page of Wands energy, which would, ooh. I sometimes like to see the Page of Wands following the Death card, because to me that speaks of like not just transformation but regeneration, rebirthing into a new sort of form to some extent, because the Page of Wands is all about that youthful optimism and embodying that. And it's that type of youthful optimism, you know, before the world kind of gets to us, before the world really kind of makes us bitter, jaded. You know, we go through a lot of things, and therefore we grow certain habits, mindsets, etc. So I feel like they're trying really hard to overcome their own inner blockages, probably mindsets or perspectives of love, and like whether or not it's safe to love. So they're aware that they have these blockages, and so I feel like they're taking the proper action to kind of take a baby step in the direction of like indicating to you like, hey, I'm interested. And you know, the Wands, they have that reputation for being a little bit more lusty, especially the Knight of Wands. But starting out with the Page of Wands, I think that that's a good step in that direction, because it's almost like, because the Wands do tap into that heart space, it's just in a little bit of a different way than the Cups do. And so to me, it's almost like, you know, it feels almost like somebody kind of wants to act like maybe at first that maybe this is just a more physical sort of connection, but not necessarily that. It's not necessarily that they just want a physical connection. I feel like they feel like that's a safer place to start than just coming out the gate being like, hey, I really romantically like you. Do you romantically like me too? And should we go about this in a romantic manner. And so I wonder if they feel more comfortable being like, at first, like, let's get to know each other. Let's explore maybe the chemistry first, how we feel with one another, the synastry even maybe of how we work with one another. It feels like it's physical, but I almost wonder if it's physical more so of like, let's hang out and see what our vibes are in person, if that makes any sense. Like it feels like they're still a little bit protected, but it's not so much that you're not going to have any idea that this person's into you. I think they very much want to indicate to you that they're very interested in you, but it feels like maybe they're kind of taking a baby step in the direction of a real romantic relationship, but starting out with more of a what could be perceived as a more superficial beginning, if that makes any sense. Because I feel like they're very curious about you. You intrigue them romantically. You intrigue them passionately. I think you spark passion within this person. You definitely make them very curious, and they kind of want to see where something like this would go. That's kind of their reason to for investing, is like they want to see where this goes. They're very curious about what an investment with you would look like. And so I feel like this is them kind of opening the door by indicating to you that, you know, at the very least, I'm very attracted to you and interested in exploring something here, if you're open to that as well. And then I feel like if they gain a little bit of confidence, or they hang around you enough to the point where they feel like, okay, we actually do have some good chemistry, we work well off of one another, you know, we kind of go back and forth, we have this sort of connection in that way. And I feel like this Knight of Wands following that Page of Wands is almost like now they wish to take it further, they wish to develop it a little bit more. I feel like this is very much indicating that they are interested in seeing how this develops. I almost even wonder if the reason why they're showing up with this much wand energy is maybe they don't really know how you feel about them. And so maybe they feel like it's a safer plan, or yeah, like it's more safe of a plan to kind of be a little bit more superficial at first, or come across like they're seeing you from a superficial perspective. Because for some reason I've noticed this in our society, or at least the American culture sort of society, is especially when it comes to masculines, this could be a masculine energy, not necessarily. They could just be showing up in a masculine energy, which is more action oriented. But if they are a masculine, I've noticed that certain masculines, because they're so afraid of being vulnerable with their heart, they feel like it's safer almost to start out a connection by being physical, or that being the beginning stages of a connection. Is like, okay, we can start out physically, and then if we have a connection, we can go from there. So I almost wonder if this is the type of person that feels like it would be way too embarrassing to just be right off the cuff, like, oh, let's be romantic with one another. It's like, instead of just jumping into that romance and that love and that vulnerability, they'd rather kind of come across as someone that you could perceive as being a player. But I don't really think that this person is a player, because it feels like this person's more complex than that. There's a certain sense of complexity to this person, and I feel like there's also this feeling of them breaking free out of their comfort zone, even if it is just baby steps. Because it's like they do see something here, some great potential here. And so I feel like that's kind of what is probably motivating them to kind of get over these self-induced blockages when it comes to this connection forming between the two of you. So it is possible that they would want to be more flirty with you. I don't necessarily see this person rushing you into bed, because that can definitely be sort of a side message with the Knight of Wands, but I don't necessarily get that vibe from this person, because I don't think that they are just looking for a physical connection here. I think that they're looking for something deeper, but it's almost like they want to start it out as coming across, oh, I'm just like interested in you physically, but there's a lot more there. And it's almost like they feel like they kind of have to test the water first, to see if they can open up to show those real emotional, romantic feelings that are a little bit more, that make them feel a lot more vulnerable and exposed. It's like they want to work up to that. And the reason why I'm saying that I don't necessarily see this being someone that wants to rush you into bed, because like the bottom of the deck is the Seven of Pentacles, which is a very slow moving energy, and there's like that message behind the Seven of Pentacles too that has to do with patience, being patient with the process of maybe getting to know another person, of opening up to another person, learning things about another person. And this also gives me the feeling that this is somebody that's interested in a long-term investment, something that it's okay if it takes some time to develop, because they do value stability. So I don't really see this person trying to make this into like a one-night stand or anything like that. I think they're very curious about developing something with you, but it's like, it's probably in their comfort zone to develop it slowly over a period of time, which honestly, I think that's a very mature way of going about these types of connections. You don't really want to rush into them. You don't want to rush into them before you actually know the other person fully, or at least as much as you can. And so I think this is somebody that's very rational, logical, maybe slightly strategic, but as of now, I'm not seeing that as a bad thing. I think this is actually a good sort of strategic person, somebody that strategizes, and it may just be the way that their brain works, is like they think of things from that more strategic point of view, and that may just be kind of part of their personality, not necessarily indicating that this is somebody sneaky or anything like that. Let's see what's underneath that Seven of Pentacles. Six of Cups. interesting to me because everything is screaming that this is a new person, but the Six of Cups can be a card of nostalgia. So I'm almost wondering if you remind this person of somebody that they knew from their past, that they have really good memories of. Or there's something about the two of you maybe connecting in terms of your inner children. That may be a weird way to word it, but like, your inner childs kind of feel safe with one another. They may feel safer with you. Like their inner child is safe with you, whereas maybe past experiences, they didn't feel so safe. They didn't feel safe like showing their inner child to other people. But also maybe in the current moment, they've seen how kind and giving you are. And I don't know, there's something about the Six of Cups that's hitting me as like they could see you doing good in the world. So maybe they know what you do for work, or they've seen some of your work and they're very much a fan of it and like what you're doing here. And it also feels like you have a lot of love to give, so they feel like, oh, I think, yeah, I see it now. So it's like maybe their inner child was hurt before, and so they kind of have to build that trust before they open up to another person. And they feel like you are the type of person that probably that they would be safe with, that their inner child would be safe with. But in order to find that out, they have to take their time developing this connection. But it feels like they have a good feeling about you with that Six of Cups. I feel like that's what it's indicating more than anything. They feel like they could be safe with you. They feel like this could actually be a very beautiful, very fulfilling, healing connection even. But it's like they want to take their time though. They don't want to rush into it. They're not trying to just jump in all of a sudden. It's like they want to take time to see if this feeling they have about you is true. Are you somebody that they can trust with their heart, with their emotions, with their emotional vulnerability, romantically? I like that. That feels very mature, and that feels very much like clear in terms of their intentions. Because sometimes that can come across in tarot readings where it's like their intentions gets a little bit muddled up, and it's not always clear, like, okay, is this person just wanting physical, or is this person, wanting romantic? This feels very much like a clear intention, and I feel like that is what's going to make a difference. Is this isn't somebody that's just rushing in and being like, yeah, I guess that I don't really know what I want out of this. This is somebody that knows what they want out of this, but they're also not trying to force any sort of narrative because they want to take their time. Those two white doves, oh my gosh, like every time I come out here for a reading, they probably just live over there, but like I just can't believe I've never seen them before. And it's actually so sweet that they're like always together. I hope that spirit protects them so that they can always be together. Oh. A pure companionship. I feel like that's definitely a good sign here with these two white doves. This would be a connection of peace, harmony, true love, true pureness of heart, being reflected back to one another. Beautiful connection. Also, it gives me that feeling of like past life soulmates. Like, I don't know. It's almost like these birds could have been like Romeo and Juliet in another life. I know that Romeo and Juliet aren't real people, by the way. I'm just using that as an example. Okay, I'm getting emotional thinking about those birds. Let's stay focused. Let's go into the Hermit card and see what that's about. Please and thank you, Spirit. Who is this that wants to invest in the collective, or with the collective with that Hermit card? Please and thank you. Please and thank you. The Hermit card, clarification for the collective. Who is this that wants to invest in the collective? Please and thank you, Spirit. Who is this that wants to invest in the collective? Okay. Anything else for that Hermit card? All right. Ooh, thank you. Okay.
this meant to come out, Spirit?
I'm gonna just drop it from a height and see how it falls. Okay. So, Sar. Lots Sar. Okay. So the Four of Cups came out to clarify the Hermit, came out in this direction. And then we have the Three of Wands upright. And then the Eight of Wands came out in the reverse. I wasn't quite sure about it, so I dropped it again just to see where it fell. It fell in the reverse, so we're taking it as a reversal. And, ooh, the Tower card, the Chariot, Knight of Cups. Bottom of the deck is the Nine of Cups, and it just so happened to be shifting off to reveal the Ten of Cups. And that's quite a few cards back, so I feel like that's no mistake that it's showing that Ten of Cups and then the Nine of Cups on top. So a lot of romance here. A lot of feelings. Oh, I think I see what this is. Wait a second here. I think that this Hermit card is indicating somebody that may have tried to play games with you. Because why does it feel like they wanted to act like they didn't want you? But it feels like they realized at some point that they messed up by playing that role. Because maybe you took them at face value. Maybe you were just like, okay, this person is clearly not interested in me. I'm gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna go find somebody else. But now they're like, wait, I did that so that you would want me more. But it's like, you're too logical and rational for that. You're not that type of person to play those types of games. And this person realized that. And it feels like this moment of like, oh no. Because it's almost like they're waiting for the ships to come in, like the payoff of their manipulation, I'm just gonna say, because it's like, why are you acting like you don't have feelings if you do? That's just straight up manipulation, right? Like, I can't really, and maybe this is somebody that may not quite realize that it's manipulation because they're like maybe you know, in that sort of that type of like dating culture where it's like they are told maybe that the only way to get somebody to like you is to act like you're disinterested so that they want you more, like those toxic dating advice tips and stuff. And so maybe they took that to heart and they didn't really realize that it was toxic. They didn't really realize that it was manipulative. And so like in hindsight, they're like, I shouldn't have done that. Because it's like they should, like at this point in this Three of Wands, it's like they should be seeing the ships coming in if they'd made those right types of investments and did the right proper work. But it's like you showed this person that you're not going to be attracted to anybody that's acting like they're disinterested in you. I feel like they probably went a little ham with that. Like they kind of were like, yeah, I'm going to act like I'm not even interested. I'm going to act so, you know, detached and, you know, I'm going to make them want me so bad. But then you're just like, okay, bye. And they're like, wait. No, that's not what I meant. No more. And now it's like they're just left kind of staring at you from a distance. You're probably heading in the opposite direction and they're just like, that's not what I meant. That's not what my plan, like this isn't what I planned for. I planned for you to want me more, but now you want me less. You know, that's kind of what I'm feeling with this Three of Wands, is them being in the current moment and just realizing, I fucked up. That's what it feels like. It's like I played games and I got, it's like ask stupid questions, get stupid answers, like kind of like I played a dumb game and so I'm getting dumber results, you know, like because some people, they just simply won't play games when it comes to dating, you know? And that shows maturity. That shows that you're developed and you're mature. And so you're not going to waste your time, especially if you have to jump through hoops and hurdles to impress this person or to get them to even act like they're interested in you. Because it's just like, okay, if you're not interested in me, that's fine. I'm going to go find somebody else who actually is and who actually wants to put in the effort and is not afraid to say, that they have feelings for me. And that's important. Not afraid to say that, because this Eight of Wands in the reverse, with the cards that came out, I think I was a little bit confused about the Eight of Wands coming out in the reverse, because I'm like, this feels like somebody that actually does want to talk to you, so I was confused. Why did the Eight of Wands come out in the reverse? Because when it comes to communication, the Eight of Wands is like, yes, somebody has that desire to come in with communication, passionate communication, enthusiastic communication. But when it's in the reverse, why does it feel like this is somebody that withheld communication from you? Especially communication that would help to propel this connection forward, to help it go forward, to help it, have something to stand on here. So it feels like they purposely withheld certain information, or how they felt about you, how they felt about this connection. And at first they thought that was a good idea, but now they're realizing, oh no, that is not the winning recipe. Because now this connection is going absolutely nowhere. And it's almost like they realize that they only have themselves to blame. It's because they were playing games. It's because they were afraid of being vulnerable. They were afraid of showing how interested they really were. Like, interested in investing with you. Like, how afraid they were to be exposed or vulnerable in that sort of way. Like, they didn't want to just wear their heart on their sleeve and be authentic here about how they felt. They felt like they had to hold back. They felt like, yeah, it feels like they felt like they had to hold back, and maybe it's simply because they were listening to, those toxic dating advice tips and stuff out there on social media, where it's like, you gotta play games, you gotta act like you don't care, you gotta withhold, like, what you want to actually say, what you actually want to express. You have to hold all that back, because that's how you get them interested, or that's how you set the trap, or whatever, But now they're realizing in the present moment, I messed up. But the good thing is, this is all clarifying the Hermit. And so I feel like this is the point where they are either going into this Hermit energy in the present moment, realizing they messed up, or maybe they already realized they messed up in the past. And so they have been embodying that Hermit energy, which is that self-reflection. Wait a second, what did I do to make these situations take place? What part did I play in all of this? And it's like, when they're doing that inner reflection, they see the truth. Oh wait, the reason I'm not seeing any results is because I played games. I was immature. I was not communicating in a healthy way. I was being overly detached. These types of things come up, and they realize, okay, yeah, I think I actually do need to maybe work through those issues I have. What causes me to be immature? What causes me to think that people will respond well to manipulation? It feels like there's a lot of that, like, sort of just deeply thinking about that sort of thing, and the part that they played in all of that. And then we have the Tower card, the Chariot, and the Knight of Cups. So it's like, yeah, that Tower card is hitting me so powerfully as like an ego death. Especially because I think, man, maybe they just live in that sort of bubble where they're told, like, oh, play games and hold back your feelings and, whatever. They'll want you, and they'll want more of you. But then they realize the reality of it, which is, I've been trying to manipulate the collective, and it got me nowhere. So what does that mean? What does that mean about them, And so I feel like this Tower card is them being like, my ego that played a part in all of this, game playing, holding back communication, holding back information, my ego is playing a big part in all of that. And I need to deconstruct my ego. I need to let go of that part of the ego that is being manipulative, or thinks that being manipulative is the way to go, is the winning recipe. Because like now they see things clearly, but it's like so clearly that they're realizing that this, if I want a chance with the collective here, if I want the collective to want to invest into me as well, I need to get rid of the ego. And what that ego kind of has convinced me is true when it comes to dating, or what the ego has influenced me to do in terms of those unhealthy dating actions, I guess. It's like the ego has to go. And the thing is, like, the ego is not really something that we can completely erase, because the ego is, the healthier parts of the ego are very important for us to, live and to keep us alive sometimes. And so, yeah, it's not necessarily about completely removing yourself out of the ego, because I really don't think that, like, sure, maybe there's like one or two examples of it being the case, but I think overall most of us can never truly be fully removed from the ego, because it is so much a part of who we are and our identities, and what has formed us into the humans that we are. So it's not so much about just like throwing away the ego completely, saying like I need to completely remove that out of myself, out of my life and stuff, but the toxic parts of the ego, I feel like are definitely, this person's like, that's what needs to go. And then these are two cards of action that followed that Tower card. So I feel like these are people here, or this is a person here. Interesting, I said these are people. Maybe it's more than one in this part of the reading, but I think it's another hoverfly. I was so surprised to look up the significance, like the spiritual significance of the hoverfly, and see that across cultures it has quite a lengthy spiritual significance. Something so small and, I hate to say it, but seemingly insignificant, had so much like rich spiritual meaning across cultures. I just never thought that the hoverfly would be so I guess universally valued in a lot of ways. It was very interesting, like doing the research for the hoverfly, because it's just like, really, like Egyptian culture had something to say about it. Japanese culture had something to say about it, and it's just like, really, this little guy that's like this big? I don't know, it's something about that's interesting. I'll definitely put the spiritual significance of the hoverfly, because I feel like that's definitely significant here. And the fact that I'm mentioning how I did not realize that it would have so much significance, why does that feel like maybe this person underestimated you? Maybe even underestimated your own intelligence. Maybe that's even part of the reason why these games didn't work on you, is because maybe you just saw them for what they were and you're like, really? You think I'm gonna respond to that manipulation in a healthy way? Really? Really? You think you're gonna get your way with that sort of behavior? No. And then now they're realizing, wait a second, the collective's smart as hell. Why am I doing these games? Because clearly they are not dumb enough to fall for these games. And also, like, there was another part to that. Maybe I'll edit it in if I remember, but yeah, pretty much you're not the type of person to respond well to those types of games and manipulation tactics. But the Chariot and the Knight of Cups. So the Chariot would tell me that this is somebody that thinks you are a very important part of their life, part of their destiny, a part of their purpose, or they could see you being a part of that purpose that they have in mind for their life. So like if they're, manifesting a specific future in a specific role, they feel like you would be a perfect fit for the future that they want out of life. And it feels like they have a very strong pull towards you. It feels very spiritual, otherworldly even. Because I think that you're also very different than the types of people that this person's used to interacting with, especially in a romantic sense. And so I almost feel like maybe in the past they did do these games and they always worked out in their favor. But because you're different, because you're not going to fall for those games, they're like, wait a second. They actually have to reflect. They actually have to reflect on their actions and their behavior and be like, you know what? That actually doesn't really make much sense that I tried to manipulate this person or whatever. If I did want a good outcome, I don't know why I was playing those games. And so it's almost like through you, I have like a cat fur on my lip. I can feel it. Whatever. I forgot what I was saying, but pretty much they have realized the error of their ways, and so now they want to come back to you with those ways being corrected. They want to show up in the right sort of energy now. The Knight of Cups energy definitely would indicate. So the Chariot would be, from my perspective in this context, it would be this person moving forward with actual purpose and clear intention. Because also maybe that was part of the reason why they played these games, was maybe they weren't sure how they felt about you or the connection that the two of you shared. I feel you, but I can't get it. Anyways, cat fur. What can you do? But anyways, yeah, they're moving forward with purpose, intention, and they're gonna make it very well known that they have serious feelings for you. Probably feelings that they've been holding on to for a long time. And, certain feelings for you that they never gave themselves the opportunity to say to you. Because it's like, how are you supposed to know if this person truly likes you if they act like they don't like you and they don't communicate that they like you? So it's like, yeah, like it makes just like logical sense that you would not, go towards this person if you feel like they're not interested, they're not saying anything that indicates that they're interested. But now it's like their intentions are clear. Their purpose here is clear. They want to communicate their feelings. They want to let you know that they have some pretty deep feelings for you. And maybe at first they thought that they were superficial, and maybe that's kind of why they played those games, was kind of to test the water with you maybe in some weird way. But now they're realizing, like, I can't be playing those games if I want a chance with the collective here. And it's interesting too that at the bottom of the deck, that Nine of Cups. Why do I feel like this person's realizing that you are actually their wish fulfillment when it comes to romance and love? Also, they probably see how much you are emotionally stable, how much you are, sorry, mosquitoes, how much you are invested in yourself and happy with yourself. You're so content within yourself that you don't need this person. And maybe that was the scary part about it for them, was they could see that you were confident, they could see that you were fulfilled. And so maybe that even played a part in this manipulation, was like they kind of felt insecure about themselves. And so they felt like maybe in some twisted way they had to humble you in order for you to be on their level in some way, or in their league, Interesting. Feels like a lot of self-sabotaging, but now it's like they have clarity about what this connection means to them. I want to see what's underneath that Nine of Cups. Seven of Swords. So the Seven of Swords in this context, well, especially with the Nine of Cups being on top of that, I feel like this is indicating more so that self-sabotaging energy. So it's like they were trying to be sneaky about something here, but it was really a sneakiness that didn't serve anybody in the situation. It was the sneakiness of like, I'm gonna hide my feelings, I'm gonna try and manipulate this situation without exposing my feelings or being vulnerable with the collective. So I feel like they purposely withheld information. They purposely withheld how they were feeling, what they were thinking about you, how happy you probably made them. So just immature and manipulative and being really kind of sketchy and like, yeah, being deceitful, but in the way of them not being real about how they felt about you. So it really doesn't make, or, you know, from my perspective, it makes perfect sense why you acted the way you did. Because it's like, who wants to deal with all that mess? Or like read so deeply into something like, oh, does this person like me? Do they not like me? You know, and like waiting on bated breath, you know, oh, I hope that this person picks me, because I don't think that is the collective I'm tapping into. I don't think you're that type of person to be like, oh, gee whiz, are they gonna look at me today? Oh, gee whiz, that's gonna be so cool. And then like all your hopes and dreams are just waiting on this person's response. Or do they even give you a response? Like, do they even like acknowledge you during the day if you see this person in real life? Interesting. I'm gonna see what's underneath that Seven of Swords, because maybe we'll get some additional information about this energy. Okay. So Eight of Swords underneath the Seven of Swords. I think that gives us our context here. The reason why they felt like they had to like be manipulative, like manipulate the situation, hide their feelings, trying to deceive you into thinking that they didn't really like you like that. It goes back to how they may be a person that gets stuck in their head, may have a lot of insecurities that keep them trapped, that keep them stuck. Old patterns and behaviors that are unhealthy in a relationship sort of dynamic, especially if you want a healthy relationship. Okay, these mosquitoes need to freaking chill. But yeah, so that makes it clear to me that this is why this person acted so manipulative, why they acted like they didn't have feelings when they did, is because they have those toxic habits and mindsets and perspectives inside of them that keep them trapped, that keep them feeling stuck. Pretty much they're very insecure, is what I'm getting very clearly here. Because of their own insecurities that make them feel trapped, their mindsets around love that make them feel stuck, that make them feel trapped. It's like, okay, they felt like the only way they would have a chance with you is if they manipulated the situation. Because maybe you would get too close if they didn't act in that sort of manipulative manner. You would have maybe seen that this person's not as confident as they appear on the surface. Because this is a lot of mental anguish. This is a lot of mental blockages. So it really, them being in this energy was really coming out of a place of being unhealed, of being like stuck inside their own mind. So it's like, if they can't even show up in a healthy way for themselves, how are they going to show up in a healthy way for you? That's what it feels like to me. And, you know, to some extent, they may have thought that you were out of their league. And so maybe they felt like they sort of had to manipulate in order to, like, for you to feel, I don't know if it was like to humble you or to make you feel more accessible. I don't know. And maybe they didn't even know, truly, because like this is a lot of mental confusion as well. So I feel like maybe part of them doesn't even really know why they acted manipulative, why they leaned so heavily in that sort of deceptive, deceitful sort of energy. But now they realize the error of their ways and they want to come in to express how they truly feel about you and how significant this connection truly is, rather than playing these stupid games. Okay, let's go into the Page of Wands. Please and thank you, Spirit. Can you clarify this Page of Wands? Who is this that wants to come into the collect? Okay. Who wants to invest in the collective or with the collective. Please and thank you with that Page of Wands. Please and thank you, Spirit. Okay. Mosquitoes. I don't want to be covered in bug bites. I'm sorry. I gotta value myself here. I am not here for your consumption, mosquitoes, okay? You think you can just consume me and my blood? Anyways, what am I even saying? It's a wonder why I have any subscribers at all on this channel, because I'm mentally unhinged, baby. But maybe y'all relate to that. Maybe I'm hashtag relatable. Oh God, I can't believe I just said hashtag out loud. Oh, anyways, it's like 10 years too late, right? Hashtag. Okay, anyways. So clarifying that Page of Wands, and also just to remind you how it came out in this direction. So I'm gonna put that in the context of this reading. But yes, and the Five of Cups came out like that. Two of Wands in the reverse. Emperor upright, and then the bottom of the deck, this is another one where a bunch of cards are shifting off. So we have the Knight of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, but it started to shift off to show the Strength card. I think there's something here about patience in this part of the reading. Patience and self-control. Steady investments rather than fast, quick investments that may be more impulsive. It's like trying not to be impulsive, trying not to just jump feet first into this pool. Metaphorical pool. But so that Page of Wands coming out like that speaks to me of fear. Like they feel like they need to embody that Page of Wands energy of like being that youthful, optimistic energy of like, you know, just going for something, being in that part of your life before life kind of gets you down. That, you know, youthful optimism of like, you know, thinking like, oh, you know, nothing can possibly go wrong here. So it's like they know that they need to sort of embody that energy when it comes to a connection or investment with you. But they feel afraid of being vulnerable in that sort of way. And they feel like they may hold themselves back to some degree. And especially because of how the Five of Cups is coming out in the same direction as this Page of Wands, I think it's probably their past experiences with love that have led them to be afraid of opening up, to be optimistic, to be vulnerable and open with another person. Because when they were vulnerable and open in the past romantically, it led to this disappointment. And that created mindsets, that created certain behaviors that are just not healthy or helpful when it comes to pursuing the things that they want out of life, such as an investment with you. Two of Wands in the reverse is also very interesting. So this to me is talking about how like this person could have made plans for like the connection that they have with you, but in the reverse it almost feels like, but what if the plans I have when it comes to this connection with the collective, what if those plans don't happen the way that I want them to happen, or you know, things don't go the way that I want them to go? Which honestly, that's just a part of life in general, is we never know what is going to go well, what is not going to go well. We don't know if our plans are going to come to fruition completely in the way that we had intended. That's kind of just a general part of life. And so I wonder if this person has kind of been realizing that, like, I can't just live in this space of fear. You know, if I never try, I'll never know. But there's a lot of fear that I get from this person. Not only are they afraid to be vulnerable, they're afraid of being, you know, being open and romantically vulnerable. And then they're afraid of like things not going according to plan. Which, you know, many things don't go according to plan, but that doesn't mean that those experiences are bad or that they weren't happening the way that they were intended to happen. You know, sometimes we can even be pleasantly surprised when things don't go according to plan, especially if you're somebody that suffers from overthinking or anxiety or anything like that. You know, sometimes if we're thinking that the worst thing's going to happen, it's really nice when the worst possible scenario doesn't actually happen like that. You know, it doesn't actually unfold in the worst possible scenario. It's actually much better than we anticipated. So I feel like this is somebody that's realizing how hesitant they are, how they are blocking themselves from their own happiness and fulfillment here. But it's interesting that we go from that spot of all that insecurity, all that fear, and then the Emperor just pops out. So is this person seeing you as the Emperor, which I feel like is the more likely? Or are they just somehow magically transforming out of this place of fear and overthinking and being so overwhelmed, and then suddenly they're empowered and they're coming towards you with this Emperor energy? That feels less likely to me, because that's quite the jump. Coming out of this place of fear, being afraid to even move, act, express, and then all of a sudden being this like stable, secure person that's like very empowered and not afraid. I don't know. That feels like a stretch to me. So I think I'm definitely going to be clarifying that Emperor to see like who exactly is this and what is the part that they're playing. Because I feel like this Emperor card is more likely indicating how they perceive you. Because that would actually make a lot of sense why they're showing up in this fearful energy, is because you're so darn powerful. You're so like you're full of power. You have like this energy of power to you. Like you can do anything, you can dominate anything, you can really get anything you want out of life from this person's perspective. And so it's like, if you're embodying that much power and they feel like they don't embody that much power, they could be very insecure about that. So I will clarify the Emperor to get a little bit more information, but for now let's look at the bottom of the deck. We have the Knight of Pentacles. So this person could be realizing that because they're in this frame of mind, state of mind / frame of mind of like just being in that afraid, fearful energy, they may think like, okay, so maybe I can't just jump right into something here and, you know, yeah, like I can't just be impulsive and just do it. So maybe baby steps, you know, small investments that happen over a long period of time. Maybe that's the best strategy here when it comes to an investment with you. It's like maybe they are aware of their own fearfulness, they're aware of their own insecurities within them, and so they may feel like, okay, slow and steady is the winning formula here. I want to see what's underneath that Knight of Pentacles. King of Cups. Well, so is that what this person is hiding? With all of this insecurity, all of these fears, they're hiding the fact that they are King of Cups, head over heels, deep feelings. They have those deep feelings for you. And they may be kind of afraid to admit that, or to come into the picture in that energy, because maybe they feel like it's too intense, too vulnerable, but also maybe it would scare you off because it's so intense. So they feel like they would want to work up to expressing their feelings rather than just coming out of the gate with those feelings very open and honestly. Like it's almost like they would have to see how this would progress, this investment with you would progress before they actually open up to you about their feelings. So it is possible that maybe they would want to start out as platonic friends or platonic co-workers, dare I say? Okay, let's clarify this Emperor, please, and thank you, Spirit. What is this Emperor? Or who is it? Is this the collective? Because I have a feeling it is. But we'll let Spirit indicate that. Who is the Emperor? Okay. Okay. So clarifying the Emperor, we got the Seven of Pentacles, Six of Cups, the Empress, Two of Swords, bottom of the deck, Ace of Pentacles. Interesting. Mosquito, I know that you're trying to just, live another day, but please don't bite me. Please don't suck on my blood. I need it. I need all the blood I can get. Okay, anyways. So I'm just going to point out the elephant in this part of the reading because it's very unavoidable, I guess. The fact that the Emperor was clarified by the Empress, that is so interesting to me. So most of the cards here would indicate that yes, this is your energy, this Emperor energy. This could definitely be how they perceive you. So I'm gonna just say right off the bat that you're incredibly balanced. I think this person realizes that in you. And maybe that's part of what makes you so powerful, is you're not just powerful in the way of the Emperor, but you're also powerful in the way of the Empress. So not only are you action motivated, action driven, or somebody that's very responsible, somebody that's very empowered, very strong, has a great confident presence about them, but you're also very emotionally intelligent, emotionally vulnerable, very spiritual, tapped in, very abundant. So you have like multiple different qualities that make you a really good catch in multiple different ways. Like, it feels like you're a very well-rounded sort of person, and you have a lot of things that make you so attractive to this person, and probably to just everyone in general. Because if you're embodying the Emperor and Empress energy, I have a feeling that you're probably attracting more than just this one person here with that sort of energy. You definitely give off You definitely give off boss vibes, for sure. Like, either you are a boss or you're going to be a boss, something like that. You're like meant for success. And you show yourself, the way that you show up in the 3D is very much like you have an air of success about you. I feel like this person has seen your journey to some extent. So this might be a friend of yours. Or an acquaintance, maybe. 7 of Pentacles there. You've been making slow, steady investments in your own life. You've been very patient with your own goals and whatever you're building in your life, and in terms of your 3D stability as well. They've seen you being patient with your journey, seeing you develop things over time. And then the 6 of Cups, which could definitely be an indicator that this is somebody that is friends with you, maybe. Somebody that's in your friendship circle. Definitely has good memories of you. You showed up in this person's life in a very emotionally vulnerable / emotionally intelligent, or very loving, caring, giving. And that's probably something that made a big impact on this person. And also the Empress is known to be an incredibly attractive person. So I feel like there's like that obvious part where it's like, yeah, obviously the collective is super hot. And then that 2 of Swords is maybe explaining like why they're so stuck in their head, why they're so fearful, and why they're uncertain what to do or what to say, is because they have some sort of established relationship with you, I dare say, either in terms of friendship or in terms of acquaintanceship. It is possible that this could have been a coworker, or either is or was a coworker. That could have been a thing too. But they have seen your journey. They have seen how far you've come in your life. You definitely are. I almost feel like the reason why you're in this position of power, or why you're being perceived as that, is because you very much deserve it. You're somebody that acts very responsibly. and you are somebody that is genuinely kind and giving, and so it's like you deserve to be in that role, because not only are you not going to abuse your power being in that role, position of power, but you also are going to show up in a kind, loving way, which is making a big difference in the world. And I think that's probably why you're showing up as the Emperor and the Empress, is because you are powerful, but again, in multiple different ways. It's like you are a really good catch because of how empowered you are in all of these different facets of your life and your personality. It's just like, they might even see you as like, you know, a deity. It reminds me of that song. It's like, I'll become your deity. What is it called? Of course I can't remember the name of it. I'm sure everybody's screaming at me right now saying the name of it. Oh, Take On Me, or Take Me On, something like that. Take on me, take me on. I'll become your deity. Yeah, okay. Anyways, catchy song. Anyways, but yeah, it's like all of these wonderful things that they see about you, how you would live your life, how you show up in the world. It's like, yeah, I feel like it's only natural that this person would be intimidated by all of that and think maybe they're not good enough, is because they see you in such a high light. Like yeah, maybe they really do almost see you as godlike. And so it's like, do I really deserve to be with a god here? Like a demigod here on earth? Am I really deserving of all of that? And so that makes a lot of sense why this person's conflicted and confused and wants to invest in you, but also is probably way too afraid to actually share their intentions, like their true intentions, because maybe they show up in a friendly way right now, or in a acquaintance sort of way right now, platonic, but it's like they're hiding those deeper feelings, I think, because of fear and because they feel like you're way out of their league. And personally, I don't believe that there is such a thing as like somebody being out of your league. I think it's really just a matter of like, do you have that sort of spark connection? Because I feel like that really trumps everything in the end. It's like, if you feel feelings for another person, it doesn't matter if they look like they just crawled out of the sewer. You know, like you're gonna be feeling that other person, right? It really doesn't matter at the end of the day what this person looks like, or you know, what they have superficially. What really matters is that connection. But yeah, they may be a little bit stuck in their comfort zone at this point. I feel like that's probably more likely, that they're more likely gonna just be like staying stuck in that, at least for the time being. But let's see, at the bottom of the deck we have the Ace of Pentacles, and so I feel like that could be them kind of being like, hey, let's build something together. So whether that's a friendship or a work collaboration or some other sort of project, definitely feels platonic. So I feel like they're still, like if they take any actions towards you, it's still not going to be revealing the full truth to how they feel about you. But they may, you know, kind of open the door like, hey, you want to be friends? Hey, you want to be working on this project together or something? I want to see what's underneath that Ace of Pentacles. 7 of Wands. So I feel like they really want to overcome the obstacles, blockages that they have themselves created. And maybe it's the blockages that have been created through their past experiences, like all the experiences they tried to fight for and they lost. But they have this desire to overcome, you know, all of these limitations that they see, all of these potential blockages to this connection really forming. And maybe it takes so much effort for them to even just start out with the Ace of Pentacles. Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe this person's just so enamored with you that it takes so much effort to even just communicate the smallest little thing. To even just say, hey, want to be friends. To even just say, hey, let's work on this project together. They're so, like, it takes so much effort on their end to present that to you. I'm curious. I want to see what's underneath that Seven of Wands, to be honest. Knight of Pentacles. So yeah, slow and steady is what they want. Or that's where they feel most comfortable, is slow and steady. Yeah, it takes a lot of effort for this person to even just show up in a friend to friend sort of connection, if that makes any sense. Like yeah. So I really doubt that this person would be coming to you with expressing their feelings anytime soon. I feel like what's the more likely outcome on this person's end is them just, thinking it over and over again and really pushing themselves to their limit. They'll probably just say, hey, want to be friends? Hey, want to build something together, like a project or whatever? Want to work together on this project? That's probably going to be the more likely. I don't think they're going to be expressing any deep feelings anytime soon, or at least not while they're still in this fearful, confused, feeling lesser than sort of energy. So the Two of Cups at the bottom of this deck, I think, especially with how this message came out in the reading, I think you're going to have plenty of options when it comes to love. So definitely do not feel pressured to take the first offer that comes towards you, because it feels like these could be three separate individuals, or maybe there's some overlap, but it feels like pretty distinctly three different individuals here. Three opportunities, give or take. So I think that you're going to be, you're going to have a good amount of options. So don't force anybody to fit if you feel like they don't fit. Don't just feel like you have to take the first offer that comes towards you, because you're going to have more. I want to see what's underneath that Two of Cups. Three of Wands. The Three of Wands sometimes I think of as the card of the time is now. And so I almost feel like this could be happening for you in the present moment whenever you see this. Or it's just around the corner. You're about to come into the time of your ships are coming in the way of romance. So if you felt like for a long time you haven't had any options, it feels like this is something that's actively changing for you, and that's going to change significantly for you. Okay, let's break out the Oracle, see what it has to add to this reading. Please and thank you, Spirit. Anything else you want to add to this reading as to who's wanting to invest in the collective or with the collective? Please and thank you. Who's wanting to invest in the collective? Please and thank you, Spirit. Or if you have any additional messages, that's good too. If they're not related to that question. Anything else? Something flipped over. Let's see. Ooh, how cute. Alright, so there's one card that popped out, and it's the Bee and Pomegranate. This represents productivity. It's interesting. Yes. I think that people are attracted to your grind set right now. You're in the grind in terms of your projects, the things that you're trying to do with your life, building things in your life. I feel like you're hard at work, and you're probably not even really acknowledging or looking around at other people right now. I feel like you're kind of in your own little world, kind of focusing on what you want to focus on. But it's really funny because you being in that energy is attracting so many people to you, I think. Everybody's attracted to this hard work ethic that you have. You're a hard worker. You like to strive for the things that you want to create in your life. You're action oriented. You like to be clear with your intentions and act on those intentions. Act upon the plans that you've made for yourself. It's because you work so hard, people are really liking you, and also maybe the fact that you don't even give them attention because you're just so focused on what you have going on in your life. People like that, I think. They kind of like that you're just kind of doing your own thing. You don't really care if other people approve of you and what you're doing. You're just kind of just doing your own thing, and it's okay, if somebody comes along, that's cool, but I really don't need anyone because I'm doing my own thing over here. That's really the energy you give off. I like it though, and I think a lot of people like that. Then the bottom of the deck is the Elk and Ash, and this represents strength. You are a very strong person. I mean, that's very clear throughout this whole reading, that you are incredibly strong. you're independent, you got your own things going on, and so it's like you really don't need anyone in your life. But I feel like, again, that is what's attracting people and making people want to invest into you, wanting to invest into a romantic relationship with you, is because it's like they like that. They like that, you know, you don't need them. You're not gonna be like waiting with bated breath, like I said earlier, you know, like waiting for them to approve of you. You're just like, I'm doing my own thing. I approve of myself first and foremost. So I really don't care what y'all have to say, what y'all want out of me. Like, I'm doing my own thing. I got, you know, it feels like you're very much, you have your own thing. You got your own thing going on. And so it really doesn't matter who approves of you, who doesn't, who likes you, who doesn't. But people like that you're in that space. The fact that you're bad all on your own, you know? Like, you're a baddie. You're also unshakable is what I'm getting to. Where it's like people may want to kind of trigger you to, like, for example, like earlier we got that person that was trying to manipulate your feelings by holding back feelings and acting like they were disinterested. But you're like so unbothered, you're so strong within yourself that I feel like if people try to do that more in the future, you just laugh them off. Because it's like, you really think that that sort of behavior has any sort of impact on me wanting you? No siree. I got my own stuff going on, I'm fine. I do not want to deal with those games. And you can keep those games to yourself, actually. Like, you literally are so unshakable, so unbothered, but people love that about you. They think you're so hot. I like that. I love that reading, actually. I really hope you enjoyed this. I tried to make it a quickie. We'll see. I highly doubt that it is, but we'll see. Maybe in some way it is. Anyways, so yeah, if this resonated at all, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you subscribe, you can become a part of the Hive Collective, because my name is Bee. Bees live in hives, and you can become an honorary bee like me, and we can be beefy. If you like my readings and you'd like to see more, be sure to click that bell icon down below so that YouTube actually notifies you the next time that I upload. And thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye!